Welcome to my home and welcome to my channel. This is me, Christoph Key, laughing through life, single, gay, and sober. The topic for this week is traveling. Traveling sober for the first time can be difficult, so I want to share with you a couple of things that I've learned. The quote for this week is, "Don't expect front row seats if you're putting in nosebleed effort," and that's by Eric Thomas. My first trip sober was a trip to San Diego. After my breakup, I knew two things. One, it was time to move out of Colorado, and two, it was time to put energy and effort into my true passion, which is singing and performing. I had visited San Diego in the past, but that was definitely a different me. I wanted to take a trip there and have an open heart and see if it would be a nice place to live sober. A couple of things surprised me along the way, and I'll share them with you. The first thing was the airport. Airports can be huge drinking hubs. When I traveled, I would always have 6 shooters with me. They were concealed easily and consumed quickly. I was an efficient drinker. I had made it past security and was on my way to the gate when then I saw it, the airport bar. I suddenly remembered how I like to get a double vodka before a flight. It was an appropriate time to drink. Just seeing that bar put a knot in my stomach. I knew that drinking wasn't an option, but I also didn't expect that my alcoholism would be sitting waiting for me at gate C23. Even in knowing that the sole purpose of this trip was to make a decision about my future, it still seemed that old demons lurked somewhere inside. Personally, I was always drunk or tipsy already, but seeing that passing cart can be a trigger. I always buy a beverage at the airport and bring an empty water bottle with me. There are two things that help me so much in my life, and I think they're really important to remember when traveling. They are expectations and flexibility. I'll start with expectations. We all expect to have a fun-filled vacation or a smooth, productive work trip, but the fact is, life doesn't always go as planned. Shit comes up and we gotta deal with it. One thing that I realized about myself is that I hold people to very high expectations, don't tell them about it, then get disappointed when those expectations aren't met. What sense does that make? I'm a planner by nature, so usually on trips I like to plan a few fun excursions. I would put so much energy into everyone doing this one certain thing that I would almost always end up disappointed. Now I look at situations much differently. I say to people all the time, you shouldn't be shocked when things don't go perfect. Just be grateful when they do. That leads us to flexibility. A person once told me, when you're flexible in a stressful situation, you're inevitably helping it. Think about that. When you allow things a little bit of wiggle room, it automatically makes the situation less tense. I try to remember that in all stressful locations, like the DMV, TSA, and even your cell phone provider. Lower your expectations just a bit, be flexible to any problems that may arise, and always be kind. Do those 3 things and see how your life changes. On my first trip, I had to find things in advance to do that didn't involve drinking. My best friend knew that I love farmers markets. She found a nighttime farmers market right off the beach at sunset. It's now something that I do every trip to San Diego. One great thing about traveling is the food. I love trying out new restaurants, and now that I'm a morning person, I love trying out new cafes and brunch spots. Fully immerse yourself in the place that you are. I really enjoy waking up early, throwing on some sneakers, and just jogging in the first direction that looks enticing. If you've got your phone, you can't get lost, and who knows what beautiful adventure might be ahead. It sounds a little cheesy, but it's true. If you're in a program like AA, make sure you stay connected to your sponsor and your home group. I do a Zoom meeting every day at 7 a.m. with my home group. Zoom has been an amazing thing. I always feel like I have my support system in my pocket. I start my day with prayers and meditation, an hour-long Zoom meeting, then breakfast and gym. That's how I set myself up for success. Traveling for work can be a bit tricky, especially if you're in an industry of heavy drinkers. What I've done in those situations is make sure you have a set agenda for yourself. After work's done, treat yourself to a nice dinner. I love cookies, so I always find a bakery, go back to my hotel room, and relax. To To some, being alone in a hotel room with no supervision is a thought too tempting to even process. But trust me, it won't always be. I want to share a story with you about the last trip that I took. I was leaving San Diego on my way back to Denver. The security line was longer than I had ever seen, but I had plenty of time, so it was okay. After about 45 minutes, I had made it through the metal detector and was waiting for my bag on the other side of the scanner. When it did, a man at TSA grabbed it and asked for the owner of the bag. I had forgotten an open yet full Gatorade bottle. The man asked me in somewhat a whisper, "Do you need to go back and drink it?" I was so confused. Why would I go all the way back and wait another hour in security just to finish this Gatorade bottle? No thanks, just go ahead and toss it, and I went about my way. A few moments later, it hit me. He must have assumed that there was alcohol in that bottle and that I needed to consume it before I continued. I'm sure that man sees this kind of thing every day, and as twisted as it sounds, he was being kind. That sounds crazy to me now, but when I was drinking every day, that would have been a different story. I am so freaking happy that I no longer have to alter my life to support my alcoholism anymore. What I realized in my sobriety is that I'm doing this for me. No person, place, or thing is making me do this. I'm just no longer hiding anymore. I wanted to take my life back, so I did. I feel incredibly lucky to have made it out of the lifestyle that I was living, and I want you to know that you can too. With that, it is time for our moment of gratitude. This week, I'm grateful for the ability to explore new places sober. I now remember the adventures I had and feel even more connected to the people that I meet. Who knew traveling didn't have to be so stressful? Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Hang in there. This is me, Christoph Key. Do you like me? Then make sure to like and subscribe for more videos.